Good evening, people. Another entry to the Dave's Diary on a late Thursday evening, and I'm a little bit happier now. Previously, I'd made the video talking about the problem I was having with that panel over there. And if you're wondering why I'm lower down, I'm sitting down on my the frames for my drawers. So I'm sitting on my drawers. The outer squareness of that is still a wee bit of a puzzle, and I'm not too certain why I'm getting the errant readings. I can only assume it's me, but in the way I'm using the tools or looking at it or hold my mouth or whatever gravitational anomaly there is at the moment over the garage or in the garage, under the garage. But anyway, I have moved on. I took the track saw stuff away. I set up the dimensioning router, and there's a couple of little things I'll talk about on that, and I set up the parallel arm, gauged it about right, ran that past the panel, the one that's got one end out of square, and I ran it past the dimensioning router, and sure enough, nothing. Oh, then it started buzzing a little bit off. What does that tell you? Well, it was out of square by half a mil, 3/4 of a mil. So I have to find that error, and that will be probably an issue for another day, not tonight. Anyway, so it was good to have the dimensioning router do its job really well. I now know roughly that the two ends are parallel. It's kind of got to be. And if they're parallel and one corner's square, when I turn it round, I should get the other one parallel and square. So it should all come right. That's what I'm saying. And then I can fine-tune it to fit into the box frames that I'm sitting on. Why am I sitting on them? Actually, I've got to be careful about that. Anyway, I set it up. It's working a lot better than it was before, just because things are fitting better. No dust whatsoever escaped this time. Yay. Wished I could get that to be the case with my miter saw. I noted in a previous video that I had talked about this wee router lift that's for the trim router, and I was banging on about how good it is, and it is really quite rigid and really nice lift. Yeah, well, okay. It has a little bit of wobble, and if there's a little bit of wobble in the body, that means that any pressure put on the router bit will not be good, and more than likely not be dead square. So well, that's a bit of a bugger. So when I looked at it, I thought, hang on. As the router and router lift starts to approach the melamine sheet, the router the router lift body gets closer, and I thought, And I had a look, and I had a measure, and I can get away with packing, and that's what this little raggedy bit of melamine is there. I can pack it with an 18mm strip on either side of the router, so that the packer goes up against the four shafts of the router lift, and as you lift the router, it sandwiches the melamine pieces and cinches up the router lift, making it immobile, and effectively locks it in place. And I'm thinking, oh, that is actually really, really good. Now, the story is, David, go spend some money and get a better router lift. And I'm going, yeah, I might one day. But this one cost me $85. Whew, a whole $85, geez, I'm going to be robbing someone's inheritance. But for $85, I reckon that's not too bad. Oh, but Dave, you're having to cobble it together to make it work. Yep, true. Yep, I'll accept that. But it works really, really well. So why would I want to get a more expensive one that I don't know the provenance of, or the condition or the performance of? You see a lot of the router lifts, the one that bed your router in, like mounts your router into it, you have to reach underneath to lock them in place anyway. Or you get the even more expensive ones that are self-locking, which would be nice. So, I'm making a wee story out of this, but bear with us. I've already got the trim router. I've already paid for that $85 lift. I don't have to pay anything more because it's working really, really well. And I don't have to pay that bigger money. If I were to buy a big router, like a half-inch router, which I've already got in my router station, to upgrade to something better is going to cost $2,000. And I'm going, nah. Can I afford it? Yes. Am I going to buy it? Definitely not. That, to me, is not warranted, not for the work I do. I might, however, buy a Triton router. Oh, okay, so the Triton router, $800 plus a plate to mount it, $1,100. Dang, $1,100. Yep. So should I buy, for the small router, the trim router, a better plate for $230, $300? Yeah, maybe. But what is it going to do that this can't right at the moment? And I suggest to you, sweet bugger all. And for $85, well, here's a question. It's how I judge things largely. Would I buy another one of those, knowing the shortcomings of it? Yes. Well, that's saying something. Would I recommend someone else buying one of those? Yes, provided you understand the shortcomings and how to get round them, which I've found how to get round them. But it's not very good quality, Dave, and you $230 to $300? Nah, don't think so. And I can make use of this until the cows come home, sort of thing. I would contemplate buying another one and putting it in the other end of the router station. That's what I think of them. So, yeah. No, and I've got no affiliation whatsoever with any person, company, or anything. So no pecuniary advantage for this fella. Hey, I'd love that, but no, zero. These are my observations. I'm glad to have bought it now that I've sorted out some of the shortcomings, which it does have. And now I've got a very, and that's flexing the whole thing when I was doing that, by the way. I've got a very stout, easily adjustable router. I'd much rather spend half an hour, or whatever, making up a whole series of shims or packers to be able to hold the router rigid, because as you lift the router up, it will sandwich the packers against the melamine, locking it and making it rigid in that position. Having different thickness pieces there, it's not much of an ask to make it work. Sounds a bit rough, a bit agricultural, whatever. Fine. Spend the money, get the better one, and I'll still be using this, and I'll be getting the same sort of performance, especially in this situation that really it was only there for dimensioning, and possibly now that I've got it nice and rigid, I can use it for other things, grooving, etc. So, I've got the trim router. I've got it's the medium router, and then I've got the half-inch router, which is a real beefy boy. So I've got the three different size routers. Why would I want to spend any money, even on the Triton, to get something that this is already doing for me? And my beefy boy one, it does look odd, the arrangement I've got, but it works really well. And again, it can be micro adjusted right down to the last fraction of a millimetre. Okay, that's it. Slapping my knee and going to get up and go inside for the final time this evening. Very happy with that. A little bit happier with that, but I'm getting the end result, knowing your tools and how to use it. that square, yeah, it's got me a bit puzzled. Anyway, it is now square after using the panel on the dimensioning router. Okie doke, that's it. Kept it reasonably short instead of blathering on like I normally do. Rightio, that's it. Off inside, and I'll see you in the next one now. Bye.